What's up, guys? Sorry I haven't been making any videos of late. Had kind of a small issues with computers and editing, and it just wouldn't record. So I finally got a new computer and am finally able to start doing videos again. So I'm pretty stoked about this one. The reason why I'm stoked about this video that I'm going to make is that there are a lot of guides out there talking about just battlegrounds or arenas, so many arenas and stuff, but not many videos about RBGs and rated battlegrounds and rotations and all that stuff. So I thought I'd come today with one of those to kind of help that kind of scene out. I know that there are people out there, especially Ret Paladins, that want to climb the ladder, but still are kind of not getting their burst rotation down, the rotation period, what Soulbinds, and what's the best. So I'm going to go into at least what I know and what has got me climbed up to over 2K. So let's jump into it. Alright, everybody, so we're going to start this off by talents. For rated battlegrounds, definitely to kind of push your ratings, or at least kind of get that extra damage for yourself to kind of show that you belong. There are a couple talents that you can use, or talent builds that you can use, two that I really enjoy. Mostly I will show one, like I really starting to use one, but there is a second one that is very, very viable. So let's jump into that one. So this is what I run a lot of the times in rated battlegrounds. I do switch up some talents here, so let's start off with the first one, Righteous Verdict. Why do I run Righteous Verdict? Is because of the extra 10% damage that you get in PvP. Though it does, the tooltips does say it's 15%, it's actually 10% in PvP situations. So an extra 10% damage to my Final Verdict or Templar's Verdict is really nice, especially through that burst phase. And when it crits, ooh, oh boy, does it crit. You can use Zeal. Zeal is really good as well, gives that extra melee attack, and that kind of helps out your second and 25 row, and 100% of the time you will only use Blade of Wrath. Combine these two, you're going to get a lot more Blade of Wraths out there, but the extra damage when it does proc is really, really nice. Just kind of gives you that extra oomph in your damage rotation, so that you can keep yourself going when without wings. Because outside of wings, Red's damage is always been kind of subpar, but there's always little clicks here and there that you can do so that you can kind of boost that damage up. Alright, our 30 row, you can run two different ones here, but 100% of the time I really just run Fist of Justice, just because when you get in the thick of things and getting less Hodges, or less time off of Hodges, so much I feel is more crucial than using Blinding Light because of the long cooldown duration. So you have a minute here, and then another minute and a half when this isn't spec'd into. So for myself, it's just not viable to go anything else but Fist of Justice, but Blinding Light is still really good, especially if you want to use that during a burst phase and not have it in, let's say, healers or somebody doesn't have a trinket, you're only the one on them. It's still nice to have because you can get that holy power damage and not have them break the CC. Our 35 talent row, I swap out of all three a lot of times depending on what map I run, but most of the time I'm going to run Unbreakable Spirit because it's going to help my survivability with Shielded Vengeance and my bubble. But there are times where I will swap for eye for an eye, especially if I'm going against a melee cleave. And a lot of times I'll run Cavalier if I'm going against a caster cleave and it's a bigger map, just so that I can catch up or get out of there. So all three are really good. This is more of a playstyle that you like. Definitely test them out, find out which playstyle is yours. Alright, our 40 talents. There are only two viable options here for rated battlegrounds: Seraphim or Divine Purpose. Seraphim is actually really, really good because you do get that big buffs, the 8% crit, haste, and versatility, but that big one is that 13% mastery. Mastery definitely boosts our damage, and it's especially with the build that I'm running. I am running a full mastery build, or at least attempting to, so that I can actually try to one-shot people, not in a Divine Toll, but more in a Final Verdict or Templar's Verdict. Divine Purpose is really good if you want more consistent damage. Though the proc isn't always consistent, there are times where you're going to do 4 or 5 Final Verdicts or Templar's Verdicts in a row, and that can pretty much one-shot somebody as well, or global. This is really good, especially with a different kind of burst, which I'll go into later, but this is more of a playstyle that you would like. Definitely find out which one you would like to use. Holy Avenger I would stay away from, just because the cooldown is just way too long. It is more of arena, like 2v2 double DPS, but with Rated Battlegrounds it's not needed. Our 45 talent is only one, Healing Hands. I really shouldn't need to go into this, but you know, the healing output is just too good. Selfless Healer is not as once was, and Jessica's Vengeance is a dead talent. No one ever uses it, so don't even. The damage is it's terrible. And then our 50 row. There are 2 viable ones right now, and that's Final Reckoning and Sanctified Wrath. I have been running Final Reckoning a lot more because of the one-shot burst mechanics basically you can do, and that basically you have a burst window every minute instead of every 2 minutes if you run Sanctified Wrath. Sanctified Wrath is absolutely amazing if you're running again into a melee cleave, because it just explodes damage, so you're getting a lot of that extra damage that's off of everyone else, so that the healers kind of have to faster. But Final Reckoning for me is going to be the big one, just because of the extra damage and the extra one-shot mechanics, or just that extra burst that you can have every 1 minute. Definitely a playstyle that you would like to find. Definitely try it out. I do run both, but I find myself going for Final Verdict a lot more. Crusade is... I tried it. It just does not do enough damage. It just takes too long to do. Alright, now we're going to go into PvP talents. Aura of Reckoning is 100%. Never change out of it. Lawbringer, never change out of it. And Unbound Freedom, I swap between Unbound Freedom and Vengeance Aura, depending on the map. And I usually go with Vengeance Aura a lot more, just because of that extra holy damage, especially with people getting CC'd. You can find yourself at 4 stacks really quick, and that's a 12% extra damage. And if you have that 12% extra damage, especially in a burst window, oh, that is a lot of damage. So these are definitely the talents that I run to kind of get myself up there on the topping the charts, and basically help out, you know, my team with getting that damage. Alright guys, next we're going to go into is going to be Soulbinds. Alright guys, so here is our Soulbind tree. There are really 2 viable options in Rated Battlegrounds when it comes to Soulbinds. It's either going to be Pelagos or Forgelight. Kalea just does not have the oomph in it as well, and what you would go into is Bearer's Pursuit does not proc enough. Honestly, it rarely procs, so her tree is definitely not worth it. Pelagos is pretty good depending on what way you want to go. You can go with your double potency here. Also, you can go with an extra healing, though it is a dot heal. This does work, but a lot of people do forget about this Road of Trials. So if you're killing people, you get a little bit extra speed. It is a 10% increase. It is kind of not really noticeable, but if you run it with Echoing Blessing, you get about 17.5 if you have the 213 conduit. So that 13% is noticeable in speed. It kind of helps out with basically taking our brakes off our wheelchairs a little bit, even though we're still kind of a wheelchair class. And our Let Go of the Past does really... A lot of people think that 3% isn't a lot, but people forget that when we are running Devotion Aura, your magical damage actually stacks up to 6%. And 6% is a lot when it comes to a lot of damage that's coming out. and it can help you alleviate the pressure with for your healers, because that decrease of damage that's going out plus your healing, it helps everyone out. So definitely try this one out. And the reason why Forge Light is going to be kind of the second one is really, one is Sparkling Drift Globe Core. It does actually a wonderful job at stunning people around it when you get really low HP. So definitely check it out. I run that when I'm running when there's pretty much a melee cleaves, and when people are just kind of training me down, kind of helps out with that. So definitely try it out. You will not be disappointed. All right, and next one we're going to go into is going to be stats. All right, so we're going to go into stats, gearing. So like I said, I have been running a more of a mastery build. Right now I'm at 27%. Still haven't got the gem slots yet. Still working on that, but most of my gear that I can go mastery, I have. Just so that I get that extra damage. But haste is still very, very good, so it's up to you on your playstyle what you like, haste or verse. Because I am human, I do run double DPS trinkets because of Will to Survive. This definitely gives you an extra benefit for you, because it does increase your primary stat by 163 if you have the 220 or lower. And then I got my burst trinket, so this is absolutely awesome. Especially if you're running a mastery build, just because you get that little bit of haste boost, so you're not really sacrificing a lot. But like I said, versatility, mastery, and then haste for myself. But if I want to run the haste build, then it's going to be verse, haste, mastery. So, and always try to go with as much strength as you can, even though, you know, can't really do much about it. I really wish there were a lot of strength gems, because I honestly would just probably gem strength more than any secondary stat, because I wonder if that would actually do a lot more damage, but that's testing it further. Alright guys, so there is the talents and the build right now. Our next thing, we're going to kind of do the burst rotation. I will show 2 different burst rotations here on it. For you, just kind of see what you can do to like get that a little bit better. Alright guys, so we are on our burst rotation. So this is going to be my first build that I'm going to be running. Don't worry about the numbers coming off the training dummy. The reason is I'm here in my garrison is because it's quiet. Can't really get a lot of people to kind of bug me or anything like that. So I really just want to kind of show you the burst rotation more than what the numbers are going to show. So let's go ahead with the quick first burst rotation. This is going to be the called, like the kill target burst rotation. So let's go ahead, let's get to 5 holy power. Okay, there's 5 holy power. And a lot of people think that you're supposed to wings first. No, you don't want to wings first. Okay, what you want to do is Seraphim, Divine Toll, Wings, Final Reckoning, then go ham. The reason why you do that is because of the 5 holy power. Now you are able to get a little bit, 1 or 2 more Final Verdicts or Templar's Verdicts to go into, and being able to get that burst rotation. So that is the reason why you Divine Toll first before Wings. So that you get that more holy power to be able to execute your burst phase. Alright guys, so here is the second burst that I use. Alright, now we're going to use Divine Purpose. Divine Purpose is a little bit longer, only because you're going to have to wait for a proc. Okay, so let's go ahead and start working on that. I usually get to 5 holy power first to see if it procs quick, but it won't. So we're going to keep working on that proc. This might take a minute. It's taking forever. Any day now. Guess not. It will proc. Okay, there's the proc. Now what you want to do, here it's different. Wings, Divine Toll, Final Reckoning, boom. There is the, now that's the potential right there. because now you can really just kind of go into it and just go as ham as possible. Because you're getting that extra damage from Divine Purpose and Righteous Verdict, you're going to be hitting a lot of damage. So definitely check that out. Alright guys, so that is the burst phase. That is going to be it for the Retribution Guide for RBGs. I hope you guys found this informative, or at least enjoyed it. Try them out, and I hope that you guys climb into that 2.1 and higher K rating and enjoy the expansion. Alright guys, have a great one.